Jesus speaking to the Pharisees when they approached him concerning divorce. And the Pharisees came up to him and tested him by asking, "Is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause?" He answered, "Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female?" Right there, this is Jesus Christ, him who created all things. Yes, the Son of God, in that special relationship only a son and a father has with their father. Him who from eternity past said, "Here I am, I will go." Him who took on human flesh, God incarnate, confirms that which he himself ordained in the very first book of the Bible, the book of Genesis from the Old Testament that Moses penned. Jesus himself said, when asked this question of, as we've heard, and I'll reiterate it now, he answered, "Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female?" And we'll go to Genesis chapter 1 verses 26, which Jesus Christ would have read himself, which Jesus Christ would have inspired Moses to write down, because that was a historical happening that God did create male and female, and that for a purpose, as we shall read. Genesis 1 verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it." And then we read at the end of creation week, those 6 days of creation, man being created on day 6. And once God had created man and woman, Adam and Eve, as he did after every creation day, he announced that everything was very good. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the 6th day. Yes, God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. Sadly, we're now living in a world, I mean, it's not just new now, it's been since the beginning. You know, we read in throughout the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, we read how God has had to deal with the rebelling of those that he created, and the rebelling against God's laws and his ordinances that he ordained in his sovereign will. He's the potter, we are the clay, but man has rebelled ever since the garden, as I say. And the reason we read there, God made male and female, was to procreate and fill the earth. And now we're witnessing in our times full colour pictures how man is rebelling against God. Here we have Laverne Cox makes history as Mattel's first ever transgender Barbie. I can't wait for fans to find my doll on shelves. You know, this seems to me it's more than just claiming that she thinks she's a female. It's all about attention, seeking, being in the limelight, wanting the adoration from other human beings, and that adoration should be given to God alone, no one else. The worship should be given to God alone. And we not only read in this article concerning transgender dolls, etc., but I've done 2 other videos. One of them is a dolly with a penis, which was introduced in Russia in 2020. And there were other dolls previous, 2018, 2019. I'll do a video on those. But this was introduced into Russia in 2020 with a penis and it was sold with the intent to sell it to children, to influence them and brainwash them. Looks like a female doll, but it's got a penis. Yes. We also have in schools in America, or a school in America, North or South Carolina, where there was a teacher, a rogue teacher, who wanted to impose her fetishes, deviancy on the little children by showing them a picture of a pregnant man, which who isn't. We know men can't get pregnant because of it. That's why God created females, and males impregnate the women with the semen, and they fertilise the egg in the female, and the zygote occurs and life starts at conception. But this deviant, and she's been called, or he has been called out, and was trying to influence the children and brainwash them by using pictures of a pregnant man and a female, and using LGBTQ fridge magnets with the rainbow, etc. on. And guess what, folks? Yes, to teach them about colours. And as one other teacher said, I can think of a multitude of other ways of teaching children about colours. I remember when I was at school learning colours, they didn't show me a picture of a pregnant man. No, and they didn't show me a picture of LGBTQ magnets with rainbows, and they claimed the rainbow, but the rainbow actually, folks, is in Genesis 9, and it's concerning the Genesis 6 to 9 on the worldwide global flood that God brought upon the earth because of the sin of man, and much of that sin was sexual sin, etc., and man's rebellion against God. And in Genesis chapter 9 we read that God used the rainbow to demonstrate he will no longer flood the earth. It was a promise between him and man that God wouldn't flood the earth again with a global worldwide flood, and it was a symbol of judgment and a symbol of a promise. And this is what they do. They take everything that God has given, God has ordained, and they try to twist it into their warped worldview. And this is what we're witnessing now. And they're after the children, folks. They're after the children. And we read here, Laverne Cox has made history as Mattel's first ever transgender Barbie, just days ahead of her 50th birthday on Sunday. Following an exciting announcement, the 49-year-old performer could barely contain her excitement as she raved about a doll being made in her likeness. Many evil tyrants in the past have longed to make an image in their likeness, and when they've succeeded, they've made people bow down and worship to it. Nebuchadnezzar was one, many others. And they made them bow down and worship to it. If they didn't bow down and worship to the image that they created about concerning themselves, people were put to death, and they were all kinds of gruesome things. And this is what she has actually said here. That she said, I can't wait for fans to find my doll on shelves and have the opportunity to add a Barbie doll modelled after a transgender person to their collection. And she actually wants children to see this and influence them. While speaking about making history as Mattel's first transgender Barbie, the Orange is the new black actress, said the experience was surreal. Yes, it sure is surreal. It's surreal for us. Very surreal. Additionally, the Inventing Anna actress explained to people how the doll is a major win for the LGBTQ community amid disturbing proliferation of anti-trans bills. Those very anti-trans bills which she is falsely naming are things like giving parents of children under 18 parental responsibility over what their children are taught in school, and that's supposed to be anti-trans bill. And there's more similar to that. See, they twist everything. They like to twist everything and use new language, new definitions, and manipulate the inclusivism and all this. But what they don't tell you is if you don't agree with what they're doing, then you're not inclusive. You can't be included. That very hatred that they're claiming against them is actually being used by them against those that aren't going to play their little game, that against those who aren't going to live in fantasy land like them. And that's what they do. They manipulate. They are manipulators. She went on to describe how this is a bit of hope and possibility for trans people in a year where over 250 pieces of anti-trans legislation have been introduced in state legislatures all over the country. And I've said there's if assigning, why am I using their language? If respecting parents' God-given rights, I mean, are they rights? They're God-given. They're endowed upon. God is sovereign. If speaking up as a parent, not wanting your children to be a part of this and to listen to men in dresses telling children stories in classrooms. If being a parent and not wanting that for your child is being anti this or whatever that, and well, this is a demonstration of how they twist everything, isn't it? I can't wait for fans to find my doll. I've already gone through that. Here we go again. In this environment where trans kids are being attacked, trans kids are being attacked. Notice the language of the volatile language, the violent language itself. Trans kids. How does it? This is why children are to be led parentally according to the natural laws which God created clearly has made male and female. And children being brainwashed in classrooms into all kinds of errant ways from God's laws by these people is an absolute disgrace. Why are we handing over our children to these people? Because that's what they want. They're trying to influence society in a negative way. The end result will be destruction, it's clear. That is what the goal is, and that's what will happen. It is happening from order to disorder. Order to disorder. Be fruitful, male and female. You can't be fruitful in reproduction and procreative within humanity by little boys, XY chromosomes, suddenly being dressed in little dresses and being told they're now a female, or they can be whatever they want to be. And the same way with XX chromosome females being told that they're really little boys. Millions and millions of children aborted in the womb every year. You know, can you see it? Can you dig it yet? Are we there yet? As for the design process, she was very involved and had notes like, can we make her look more like me and to be more African American? Then we've got the racist thing coming in again. You know, they can't help themselves, can we? And we had a conversation about highlights and lowlights because I'm blonde most of the time now, but I'm a black girl, so I need a dark root, the Emmy-winning producer added. She doesn't know what she wants, does she? I mean, he doesn't know what he wants, does he? Or she? XY chromosome. That's what we're looking at here, folks. XY chromosome. You know, I'm a single bloke, right? Now, I was talking to someone about this the other day. Let's just say, hypothetically, I was to meet somebody. Oh, this looks like a nice lady. You know. Let's just say I was to meet this lady. You know what would be the first thing to come into my head to say to her before we went any further? Would you be so kind as to go and get a chromosome test just to confirm that you're a XX chromosome and not an XY chromosome? Because it's getting very scary, isn't it, folks? How the deceit and the twisting and the lies and the deception. Look at this picture. Okay? How they're deceiving everyone. That That is a wolf in ladies' clothing. A wolf in ladies' clothing. And that's the way it is. And these wolves are out there. These wolves are out there. They want your children. And they're going to take them if you let them. On the subject, she concluded, we had a whole conversation about how they can't do that, but they could do dark lowlights. As a child, Cox revealed her mother forbid her from playing with Barbie dolls because she was assigned male at birth. Upon reflecting on this traumatising experience during her upbringing in her 30s, the star said her therapist reminded her it's never too late to have a happy childhood, and what you should do for your inner child is go out and buy yourself a Barbie doll. Traumatising experience. You call that a traumatising experience. Okay, if you want to play with Barbie dolls as a male, you play with Barbie dolls. But don't tell me that's traumatising. You know, there's a lot more traumatising things in that are traumatising because your mum wouldn't buy you a doll. There were things I wanted when I was a kid. Okay, but I didn't get them. But I didn't get traumatised over it. I just got over it. Yeah? Strange people are trying to influence you, folks. And you're just going along with it. It's just amazing. Anyway, she goes on about a Barbie doll, and now she has Barbie dolls. And I'm saying she because, you know, really a he. So I can emphasise the XY chromosome point. And there we go. She claims she's breaking down barriers, etc. etc. It's a sad world, folks, isn't it? Sad world.